Hey guys, it's Corey from Thought Soldiers. I wanted to talk today about our spiritual mastery and being able to find or embrace that we are the eye of the storm. So lately, things have been pretty chaotic. At least for me, it kicked off a few nights ago. We had I did a guided meditation that Asia Andromeda was doing, and there was a lot of really cool stuff that came to the surface. A lot of understanding my destiny or whatever my big plan is here for Earth, which isn't really that big of a plan. Just kidding, it's actually huge, and I love it. But a lot. What happened was I've been kind of recently. There's been this synchronicity popping up regarding being tested. Um, a test popping up, kind of a pop quiz, and I feel like right now is opportune time to finally take all these things that we've learned to put it into action, especially when it comes to holding our frequency, harmonizing with our destiny, and not just that, but trying to stay calm in the eye of the storm and being able to apply all these things that we've learned in order to keep calm and hold the light. So what happened was I was triggered by watching a video that said, there's a test coming for light workers. Let all the light workers know there's a test coming. And I try not to trust everything I see in a video, especially if it's on YouTube, because anyone can be publishing this content. You don't know exactly where it's coming from, who's saying it, especially when it's, I have a tough time trusting, especially when it's channeled messages. But right after that, I started to get tested a little bit. And it's been very kind of chaotic, and it's been creeping up in different ways. This has happened to me before, let me say this. This kind of chaos has ensued before, and it felt very dark, and it felt very, it felt like, especially for me, someone who's like, yes, we arrived in 5D, we're fucking living in the eternal love, and there's nothing but love here, there's no duality, there's no da 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 da. And this popping up, it kind of started to question myself, like, wait a minute, am I in 5D? Like, what's going on here? But what I started to notice was that there are tools that I've been using for a while now, to be able to hold my frequency and be the eye of the storm amidst the chaos. One of those things is music, and that's what kind of drew me to this video today. Was there was something that Amber was posting from the Ascension journals about Ascension journaling, and she's been bringing up songs that have been popping up in synchronicity lately for her, and that's what happens to me huge time. Is there's a lot of synchronistic moments with music, but I noticed that there's this coping skill I have that I've been using for a while, where I just, whenever I'm going out, I pop in headphones and I just listen to music to hold my frequency wherever I'm at, so I don't let things affect me, because especially with old traumas, there's certain noises will trigger me. I also have a very intellectual mind that will not shut off, and I've talked about thought loops before that are really hard sometimes to not get stuck in. And this happened to me last night. I went to a Buddhist temple recovery meeting, and my phone died right after the meeting. On my way home, none of the buses were connecting perfectly, so there was like 2 miles to be able to get home. It ended up taking me an hour and a half, and my phone was dead the entire time, and I started getting caught up in these thought loops. There was a lot of noises going on around me of like buses decompressing, things like that, that just triggered old stuff. And this is what I mean by the test and applying these concepts into our life, is that there's going to be a point in time, and right now it's for me, and I don't know if it's happening for anyone else. That's why I wanted to make this video. But I'm being tested to see if I'm going to react, because a topic of discussion that came up yesterday at the meeting was suffering, because this is a Buddhist-based recovery meeting, and it was that suffering is a part of the journey, and I shared that the suffering that I've gone through in the past, the very severe suffering, was always self-induced, because either I had brought that suffering upon myself, or I was reacting to a situation that was unfortunate in my favor from a third party. And so realizing that, I realized that I don't have to react today to when the world is going crazy. I can choose to sit back in my chair and eat my popcorn and watch the movie unfold. And there's a lot of hilarity with doing that, and it actually just happened tonight where you know, this chaos has been ensuing, and I ran into some stupid shit with the bank, with a bank that I bank with. And there was just something brought up in the policy and the way they were doing things that was absolutely obscene to me, made zero sense. And so I chose to speak my truth about it. And, you know, things got corrected. But another thing that started happening when I started to wake up and really start to learn about what was going on was the veils were dropped as far as the show of the world and the game that we live in, as far as being able to see behind the scenes and the inner workings and the idiocracy, the hypocrisy, and how ridiculous it is in nature. And, you know, this happened and I chose to laugh. I chose to laugh at it. And as I was, you know, just walking away with this situation of, you know, because let me just say that really quick, this is money that I'm relying on, that I'm trying to get. And, you know, I won't be able to access it for a little while because they found fraud on my account and all this stuff. And I could have chosen to engage in this fear of not having, you know, what I need for the next little bit of time. This is money I'm relying on, which would have put me into a state of lack, which would have dropped me in vibration, and boom, you know, I would have been set back. Negative thought loops could have happened. That's what would have happened in the past. But I chose to laugh at it today and realize that I'm not going to let issues like this take hold and take power over me anymore. Now, once again, this is me on a strong day. So on a strong day, yeah, it's very easy to not let that affect me. But, you know, on those days of weakness, that's when the spiritual mastery really comes in, where, you know, am I going to let these things bother me today? Am I going to let them to lower my vibration? Which I'm choosing not to. I'm choosing to stay on the path of just holding where I'm at, and I'm really trying to harmonize with the higher timeline, which all of us can do, being able to harmonize with a higher timeline of, you know, things like eternal love and no more karma, duality, completely non-existent, which is you know, been kind of promised in 5D, which I've been seeing for the most part, but, you know, the chaos still ensues. And that's just the way of the world, and especially other people trying to step into these energies right now, because I feel like those of us that are enlightened and have been through a lot of this big, when these waves hit, being able to handle it accordingly and being able to coast through it and just go with the flow. It makes things a lot easier because we're aware of it. I feel like now is the time to really step into our power and to really start to inform people like, hey, you're feeling this stuff? Like, this is what I did about it. Because, like, I have a lot of friends with colds right now. A lot of friends that are, you know, having a lot of, like, I have, you know, one guy here at my house that's really sick, and he's like, I'm gonna go sleep for 2 days. Which, you know, that's what you gotta do to help. But, you know, with these new energies coming in, there's a lot of ascension symptoms that people are going through, and you know, this is the time where we can educate people. There's some people that they don't want to hear it. They don't think it's that, and that's fine, you know. But when you speak your truth, there's a level of peace that I find when I speak my truth about this stuff going on, and you never know when this information can really help someone. So you know, if you're watching this stuff unfold in front of you and you see the chaos of the world, and you're a little, like, for me, I got concerned because I'm like, you know, oh, if my external reality is a reflection of my internal condition, then my internal condition must be all screwed up if this chaos is ensuing. Not always true. And I'm learning that. It's not always a direct reflection, but also, too, there's a lot of shadow stuff, a lot of shadow work that some of us are still doing that's very, very deep stuff. So being able to face those things head on and learn from these lessons too, because, you know, I've got things coming back up into play right now that are old life lessons that I know I've learned from, and these things are popping up to see if I'm going to engage or not. And, you know, so I'm choosing to, instead of think that, you know, there's an eye in the storm and then the storm is going to come, I'm choosing to embrace the fact that I can be the eye of the storm, that I can constantly be in a state of non-reaction and just being able to let things happen and not let it really take effect of me. And you know, especially with sensitivity being really high for a lot of us right now, um, it's been difficult. Like today, I had some stuff going on at work where, as you guys know, I work in the behavioral health field, and it was a moment to vent without having to go into detail because of privacy stuff. It was a moment of venting, and what happens when you've got people like me that work in this field, there's a lot of passion, and we're also very, very energetically powerful people. So there was a lot of words that were being casted out with a lot of heavy emotion and heavy energy behind it, very dense energy. And as these words were being flown in this room, I could feel it pierce me like bullets. Like I literally, people would say something and I could just feel it just kind of take within my soul. And I had to realize and remember that it's not my job to take on their energies. Sometimes I will take on the role of transmutation, of taking on this energy to turn it into something and turn it into something good and put it back into the universe to try to help the collective. But I can choose to not take on this energy. So, you know, if you're noticing this stuff happening to you, start to practice being able to block yourself from other people's energies, being able to protect yourself, stay grounded, stay protected. Realize that it's not your job sometimes to take on other people's energies. You may take on energies for the collective to help transmute it if that's one of your paths as being a light worker, which sometimes it is for me, is just being able to transmute stuff for the collective. But note that when you're transmuting for yourself too, with your energies, you're doing that for the collective. And if we have free will in this, so if people are, if energies are getting high in a room that are not in your favor, you can choose not to take that on. Protect yourself, ground yourself, you know, connect to source. That's really key. The one thing that's really helped me is the blessing ball thing that Samantha Rodriguez taught a lot of us on her videos, and it's something that she learned from her teacher. That's really helped me a lot in this journey. Being able to the only energy I choose to access today is source energy. And you know, fill my body with light and ground that into Gaia and not take on other people's energies. But it's not perfect. It still happens, and it happened this morning, but you know, I finally just told myself, you know what, I'm not going to take on their crap right now. And it got better, and I got to shake it off. But also, if you notice, friends, like I have a few coworkers that are going through this right now where they're taking on other people's energies and they're unaware of it. And it's leading to doubt and a lot of negative reflection, a lot of shadow self having to come out. Help them out and let them and inform them of what's going on, because there's a few people I've talked to about this and they actually believed it the entire time. They just had no one to talk to about it. And so as soon as they opened up and felt comfortable, they're now asking more questions and learning about what's going on. So and that's really neat as far as if we're trying to attract our soul tribe and on this light worker journey, not feel so alone. You never know when the person right next to you is experiencing the same thing, but they're just too scared to mention it. So speak your truth and embrace your mastery. And if you are at that point of mastery, which a lot of us are right now, you'll realize it's very simple. It's very simple. I complicated it a lot, and I still do, because I love to make very simple things extremely complex and really screw it up for myself. But this level of mastery is very simple, and it's just seeking that stillness and holding where we're at and using whatever you can to be able to hold your frequency at that tone. And for me, a lot of that's music. So I walk around 80% of the day with headphones in full control of my environment and what I'm listening to, and making sure it's only positive messages, making sure things that they're uplifting for me, because I will also use that as a manifestation tool. So I make sure that I'm always holding things to try to hold that frequency. So be careful what you're exposing yourself to right now. There may be some chaos ensuing around you, and like for me, just enjoy the show. Enjoy it, because you know, as Ralph Smart says, you know, this isn't happening to us, it's happening for us. And it's neat to be able to be at a state like where I'm at right now, where I can just sit back and let the chaos unfold and smile and laugh and know that I'm okay and I'm whole right where I'm at, and I'm right where I'm supposed to be. And there's a lot of great things on the rise. Some people have been talking about it recently in their videos, and I hope you guys see it happening too. There's a lot of really neat stuff unfolding for us. I don't know what's happening around the corner, but I'm excited to see what arrives. And you know, for us master builders out there, just keep building, and stay strong in your foundation, and don't let the wind blow you over, because it wants to. But you know, I stay strong and grounded today, and I'm not gonna let that stuff blow me over. So, anyways, really excited for things coming up right now. If you haven't, click subscribe. If you want to reach out, send me an email. There's a few people that have reached out recently and I haven't gotten back to. I apologize. Things have been a little chaotic and things are starting to slow down just a little bit right now. So if you want to reach out or have any questions or just want to chat, feel free to do so. CoreyMacLight33@gmail.com. Anyways, love and light to you guys. Much respect, and I will see you on the other side. Namaste.